Good morning, everyone. Let's look at your markets for today. Ooh, we've got GDPs on the pound coming out in about 37 minutes. That's always fun to watch. So we'll probably be in a position to trade that. We've got employment changes on the loonie today. We could potentially see that push the markets, especially with the unemployment rate. They're forecasting it to be lower than previous. Which obviously lower is better, as you can imagine. Your unemployment rate, you want a lower figure or percentage there. So they're forecasting it to be lower than the previous. So if it is, that's good. If it's not, that could potentially be bad for the loonie. And then we've got oil rig counts and stuff like that. I'm already out of my positions on dollar CAD. We'll discuss that in a second. But my positions are closed out at the moment. So I'll look to trade the GDPs in a second, maybe the employment rates. But I think for the most part today, if we don't get volume from this, I'll just take it easy and not, force opportunities in the market. We'll look at the indices. We've got the S&P up 0.8% with the Russell up 1.08%. We've got the DAX 0.88% up with the Euro 0.69% up, and then the FTSE 0.53% up. I think that's pretty neutral across the board. I mean, with the S&P not even up or down 1%, for me that's a pretty neutral indication. So we'll look at commodities. Gold, that's up 1.07%, with silver up 2.14%. Now I could definitely see myself entering into gold with these percentages. On Forex, we should see them be pretty neutral across the board, and they are, yeah. So I mean, all in all, that's pretty neutral with a slight up sentiment for gold and silver, but obviously that could change in the blink of an eye. So this doesn't really tell us much at the moment. So let's have a look at the charts and see what we can surmise from that. So here's the we'll start with the dollar CAD one. The prediction came true. My trades took profit there. As you know, I scaled in, so I did have more than one trade open. The biggest one moved all the way from somewhere there to there, just above my target. So I can show you. The biggest one was this one. So I got in at 133,187. 133. Somewhere there. And we got out somewhere there at 1.31929. Somewhere there, which is the majority of the move. So I'm pretty happy with that, as you can imagine. Overall, all the trades yesterday, I did have some bad calls. I'll show you. There's one on Euro Yen, didn't quite go my way. Dollar Swissy didn't quite go my way either. And then when I thought it was reversing to the opposite side, it reversed on itself again. That's basically a whipsaw. So it nailed me in both directions yesterday. So I obviously had a bad day with this pair specifically. So it broke out and then reversed on itself. But it first broke out to the bottom, as you can see there. Broke out to the bottom, closed there, and then went through. And then my stop loss was there, obviously. Went through, so I broke out there, and it went, but I expected more. I expected it to go to there. and then it just started ranging, so it came back. So when it was somewhere back here where it started, I just decided that this is not worth the effort. So it didn't trigger a stop loss or anything. I just closed it manually because it wasn't doing what I expected it to do. And if that's the case, then get out. I mean, there's no reason to stay in a trade that's not performing the way it's supposed to. So I just manually closed it out, and I'm happy I did, obviously, because it was a buy and it was drawn down and it's gone down further. So I had a few bad trades that don't always go perfectly my way on these two pairs. The euro yen, let's look at that one. We had a buy. Oh, there was a breakout to the upside. So as you can see, it did almost exactly the same thing. We had the breakout to the upside. It closed outside that little triangle and then just reversed on itself. Now, that is a significant resistance line, so I should have known. And then obviously there's a divergence as well on the RSI that I wasn't even paying attention when I was making yesterday's video. So I didn't see this until after I had my trade open. But once I opened the trade and it reversed on itself, and I saw there's a divergence, and not just this one, there's a further hidden divergence there. So that's flat, and then this one from there to there is not flat. So that's a further divergence. So obviously that's a reversal, people. That means this trend has seen its end. So I expect it to break out of the channel, break this trend line, and come down because of the divergences there. So for me, this was when I realized there's divergence on the RSI on this trend. I manually closed out my order with a loss, and I'm glad I did. It ended up going down further, but I closed it out somewhere there. I closed it out, and I expect it to break out of the channel now. So we should potentially see this come to the downside now. Break out of the trend, break that trend line, break the channel, and come down. We'll discuss that in a second. I'll do a full top-down analysis on this one soon, I think. Let's just turn to the trades I still have open. As you can see, we had a stop loss here, take profit 2 to 1. It's not a very high target, and it's almost there. So this is on the Aussie dollar. It's almost there. This is on the back of Aussie strength. So I'm going to leave it to take profit there, but obviously I can, if I wanted to, move the stop loss to a break even there. There's some consistent candles to the upside, so happy to do that. Then at least I know it's never going to be a loss. And this one as well, I'll make the stop loss a break even too, for the same reason, but I do expect it to hit my target level. It is actually lingering around the 61.8 zone, which was a key support / resistance zone in the past. So for me, this is like, it's going to struggle to break through. It's reversed at this level before. So even though it'll struggle to break through, I'll leave it because I do have the break even. I do have the break even in there. So for now, I'm still pretty confident it's going to continue to go down, even though it's struggling to break this level. When it does, it should hit my take profit level pretty quickly. So those are the two trades I still have open at the moment. And then yesterday overall, I made a pretty decent profit again. That's 2 decent days in a row. So that's why I said I could potentially just not trade anything today. Just because, I've had good opportunities and I've used them well, and limited my mistakes to very small losses as well. So I can be pretty happy with this week's trading, to be honest. Anyway, gold is continuing to move up. Remember how we saw that on the any technical summaries? We did have that divergence in the past, but right now it's properly trending up. So I only saw the breakout way too late. Obviously, this happened in the early morning hours when I was still in bed. So I can't get in now, unfortunately. But I would like to see it retest this level, and then obviously if that level breaks, it's going to test the longer term trend line, resistance trend line. So if I zoom out, you'll see that long term trend line. It's going to test that one, and that would be pretty cool. If it breaks that, then the sky's the limit. It could potentially go all the way to there. So there's some money to be made on gold soon. This little triangle is getting tighter and tighter, and it will not hold forever. So maybe today, maybe tomorrow, Monday morning, we could see this breaking, and obviously there's going to be opportunities aplenty when that happens. So definitely keep an eye on that. Okay, so I've got Euro Aussie and the Aussie dollar. I'm basically split my trade across the two because sometimes one of them gives more volume than the other, and I wanted to capitalize on both. So as you can see, this one had more volume on in total, the Euro Aussie, than the Aussie dollar did, which I tend to find happen more often, that the Euro pairs move significantly more than the dollar pairs. But anyway, so those are the two trades I have open, and we looked at gold. We're waiting for the breakout that's coming soon. Aussie CAD, now we know that this is ranging because we've got Aussie strength and we've got loonie strength based on the oil prices in conjunction with the Norwegian strikes. So the loonie was stronger, but now the Aussie is stronger. So it's basically ranging. Aussie is getting stronger against the Swissy. Aussie is getting stronger against the yen. Aussie is getting stronger against the Kiwi, but it is in a retrace at the moment. Euro Swissy, I mean, that's pretty much ranging at the moment. We had a breakout to the upside, a breakout to the downside. This is ranging. So we'll take this out and do a breakout box or something like that. Something like that. If it breaks out, then maybe we'll get in there. Euro pound, we've got a pretty consolidation triangle coming or forming. So for me, this is one to watch. Obviously need to watch this. Definitely need to watch this. Euro yen. I mean, this is consolidating. I'm just not going to touch this because there's no volume. I mean, I know that this is supposed to, based on that divergence, this is supposed to break. So maybe wait for the break and then into the market. For me, getting in now is obviously, well, you could, but I mean, it's risky. It looks like it wants to go up, but I think it's going to come down. I do think it's going to come down. So what I want to see, when we had this the last time, let's do this. That looks a little optimistic at the moment. Yeah, it's a little optimistic. Let's go back to the original channel. You know what? We'll do this. That's what I expect to see. Something like that. Okay. That's what I expect to see on this one. So should we draw an arrow? We'll call the target level here. So obviously significant resistance turned support. It's a pretty good target. Respected recently. I think that'll be a good call. So that's what I want to see. Let's do a little arrow. Something like that. That's what I expect to see now. Okay, euro dollar ranging, as you can see, it's still ranging, so you could just short it now because it's right at this double top, triple top level. That's a triple top, but my indicator said a big move is coming to the upside, so then I get a little cautious when I try to trend or trade in the opposite direction. But I mean that's where the money has come from so far. When I know that its price action says this is the level where it's going to stop, then it usually stops there. So for me, this is a good place to get in to short this, but I really want to short this instead. So because there's not a lot of movement on this one, I mean, you get a few good candles. This one gives you like decent moves, especially moves to the downside. This angle could become like that one. So it could become this from there to there. So we'll see what it does. We'll see what it does. I want to see it come down now. And this one as well should come down. Pound dollar bouncing off that resistance level. I'm not going to trade this at the moment because that indicates dollar strength more than pound weakness. So they all kind of look that way, don't they? They all seem to have those three little. And then obviously this one is for its own reasons moving down. I mean, we've discussed the reasons for this a few times, both here and on Twitter. We all know Hurricane Delta approached the Gulf of Mexico. 17% of the US oil production is in the Gulf of Mexico. If a hurricane approaches, they have to evacuate, which shuts down production. This, together with the fact that 6 of the Norwegian oil production plants were on strike this week, made this move pretty obvious. So, I mean, this was easy money, to be honest. This was easy money. I didn't even have to do technical analysis on this. I just said, oh, hello, here's a position. And as it retraced, I just scaled in more and got more and more and more, and then bam. So yeah, happy with that, but we know why it happened. We knew why it happened before it happened, which is always good. Dollar Swissy seems to be trending down. If you want, you can jump on that bandwagon. Dollar Yen, I mean, it's outside this triangle finally, but only to that level, and there's only 73 ATR, 73 points. That's 7.3 pips. That is nothing. And then silver is right at that top again. Yeah, so I mean, I don't really see that many opportunities, with the exception of Euro's potential moves to the downside. This one more than the others, and then the same thing on the pound. Pound has at least a decent ATR. This one has almost half that ATR, and this one is slightly more than half. So maybe trade this to the downside. But I mean, I don't follow Brexit, so this could do anything depending on what happens with Brexit. So I can't say this is coming up or coming down or whatever, because I haven't followed Brexit in a few days. So for me, I'd stay out of the Brexit related trades and just do either this one or this one. You should see a pretty decent move here. So just take this one from there to there. Move it from there to there. And you should see that happening. But I would take profit there instead if I were you, just to be on the safe side. Something like that. Euro yen, we already have our arrows. We'll do this one as well. Yeah, that's it. I mean, so I'm still long on these two. So Aussie strength, banking on Aussie strength at the moment. Gold, that's long, but you know, I'm way too late for entering the market there. So unfortunately, I missed out on this. This one's ranging, consolidating, trending up, Aussie strength. Trending up with the retrace on Aussie strength. Waiting for the breakout. Waiting for the breakout. I expect a move, but I could be wrong. I mean, this is me making a very preemptive call. So don't just blindly enter the market. Rather wait a few candles and see what it's doing. You know, in the very next candle, just break this trend line. So there's no reason to enter now. No reason to enter at all, to be honest. So this channel that I'm forming is hypothetical. Actually, on that notion, we should make it dashes instead. All of them, to be honest, should be dashes. They're all hypothetical. It's not a certain call. So this is what I expect to see. So now we need confirmation. We need this to keep respecting that trend to the downside until we eventually break out of the channel. So it should consolidate into this triangle, break out of the channel, then we should see a move to the downside. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to see, but I could be completely wrong, and the euro just keeps strengthening. But I'm basing this entire forecast on that divergence. So I've seen divergence in the past be spot on, you know, completely accurate. But I've also seen it, you know, cause a retrace and then continue the move to the upside. It happens sometimes. So you can never be too sure. I'm happy to just wait and watch first. This one's easier. Just wait for the breakout and then short it, or long it, depending on the breakout. Obviously, you go whichever the right direction the breakout is. But I do expect this will come down. If it breaks this triangle, I expect it'll come down. It's consolidating very nicely. So if it does come down, we'll see a proper move, a really proper move. So I just want to, let's make this a little smaller and take out the terminal so we have more space, and try and forecast yeah, I mean, that level is pretty spot on, I think. I'm happy with that. I mean, it's bigger than the previous. The previous down was just a retrace, so we are expecting a reversal, not a retrace. So it should be bigger than that if it does happen. So yeah, I think that is the key level there. We'll even make it a little thicker. That's a key level for me, so that everyone can see how important it is. We'll see if it happens. I mean, it could push up to the next resistance level, which is over there, if it breaks through there. So let's keep an eye on it. Wait and watch, people. Wait and watch. Yeah, I mean, my trades need to close out so that I can call it a day. But if I do see an opportunity on either of these two, I could definitely see myself opening a trade that I would potentially leave, that I would leave overnight, over the weekend, it being a Friday and all. I could open a trade for a breakout specifically. Not too happy with this. So these two are my key focuses for today. I think you'll see some pretty decent volume on them, and potentially you could trade this to the downside as well if it does respect that level and continue respecting that level. Okay, well, that's it for today's video. Hope it helps. Good luck and enjoy.